down block parties to try and encourage residents to pick up messes like these and throw them in the dumpster. If you had told me that I'd be learning using one of my favorite TV shows, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But for the 5th graders here at San Jacinto Elementary, they've heard stranger things. I try and walk inside of the police department building, I'm not able to do so. They have these doors locked down. And lucky for you, after 6 years of planning, a partnership between Grow Odessa, Odessa Finance, and the city of Odessa will allow 45 new homes to be built here. In Lawndale and North Park have been having to worry about thieves coming out whenever they go to sleep. Able to have him pull out the evidence. Here is an actual look at the clips that were recovered from the vehicle that the men were in. And we're also able to take a look at the guns and ammunition. Do you trust that the employees are gonna sort through the items after they're put in bins like these and make a good decision of whether they're gonna go for sale or go to a nonprofit? One of the men in the vehicle, a known neo-Nazi on the FBI's watch list. Doors closed early today at the BBVA Compass Bank in Odessa after a man robbed the bank. And now, Odessa police are looking for that man.
The bank robberies, they can happen anytime, any place. And sometimes we'll have several that happen within a couple weeks. Sometimes we'll go several months without having any.
The third bank robbery here locally, all with similar happenings, have kept police and the FBI busy.
He just presented a note to the teller and displayed a handgun. And he left the scene with an undisclosed amount of cash. The suspect is a white male around 180 pounds. He was wearing glasses, a hoodie, and a surgical mask during the robbery. And his getaway vehicle wasn't very discreet. It had an auxiliary fuel tank, and he had the sides covered. So we believe that there's possibly a company logo on the sides and the front, on the front doors.
Police are confident that this man will be recognized.
But he will recognize that face and that truck. That work truck, so because it is a very specific work truck.
Big Spring, named after its old watering spring. What you may not know is the city had a dark beginning. It's part history and part lore.
According to legend, the first 8 deaths in town were murders, violent murders.
And their bodies lie in the Mount Olive Historic Graveyard. You see, this was a shoot-to-kill kind of town. Those are some of the many stories told along the city's haunted tour. The sold-out tour, just in time for Halloween, tells tales tall, spooky, and true.
That's where Big Spring's history is at. That's where the ghosts of Big Spring are.
The area riddled with ghosts of the past.
The bodies deteriorated, but the spirits, not so much.
In the 1880s, Main Street was lined with saloons, one of the tales told on the tour. There are more ghostly happenings than normal, and that this loft on 2nd and Main is haunted.
When she moved in, she would hear noises in the walls, within the walls, and the walls are a really thick construction of concrete and brick, and you couldn't really hear the trains, which are very close. That soundproof, yet she kept hearing these voices. The one wall shares the meat market. We call it the meat market. That's one of the oldest buildings in town.
That building still stands as a barber shop, and it's another piece of the town's haunted history.
The meat market was built in 1884 for the Earl of Alfred, who came to Big Spring. He was royalty, and he came from England.
He never went home. Alfred apparently drank himself to death while living in Big Spring. Some say his spirit never left the West Texas town. Just one story and the cauldron full of ghosts locals hunt for this time of year. In Big Spring, Tate Owen, News West 9. Brianne Anderson's room is more like an artist's studio these days. With each brush stroke, she's turning a blank canvas into a work of art. A masterpiece you can wear.
I'm not really like an artist.
She just wanted to give her boyfriend something special.
I painted a pair of Vans for my boyfriend for his birthday.
Call that gift a stroke of genius.
After I gave them to him, I put on my Twitter if anyone would be interested who would buy these. And it like blew up and my phone crashed because I was getting so many messages.
That's how Vans by Bree started.
Even if I'm at work or if I'm at school, I'm just thinking about all I have to paint when I get home. And it's exciting to come home and just get to paint.
At school, she's a track star and is a member of the Bronco band. And at home, a budding business owner. She sold dozens of her colorful creations through social media, a creative outlet that's paying off, literally.
I get real excited to just come and paint.
From a birthday present to a business. In Odessa, Tate Owen, News West 9. For 19 years, no one knew what Thomas Arthur was doing inside his Terlingua home, until now. Today, new details revealed during a pretrial hearing. The prosecution claimed the server Arthur ran his Mr. Devil website on was hosted through a server company based in the Netherlands. During the raid, they found explicit images of a young girl connected to a separate child porn case. Today, FBI investigators believe Arthur could also be linked to an unsolved child porn case from the early 2000s. And if that's not enough, the prosecution also revealed Arthur was selling firearms and armor-piercing ammo online. Through both of Arthur's dark web businesses, he was pulling in up to $14,000 a month. The information was enough for a judge to deny Arthur's bond.
This was a detention hearing to determine whether or not a bond would be granted. A bond was not granted. Next, we look forward to defending our client.
In addition to no bond, Arthur will remain in solitary confinement under close watch of the U.S. Marshals.